Bowers, and welcome to Abstract Essay, where ideas take shape, thoughts find depth, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. She is a fellow podcaster also, and trailblazing through the business and life, no other than Miss Debra Bowers.
Hi, Daniel. So happy to be here.
Yes, yet again, welcome on Abstract Essay, Miss Debra. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
I started my podcast, Deals with Heels, in 2023. And before that, I started my advertising agency in 2022 after a period of spiritual growth that changed my life. And starting my life over in my 50s was really challenging, but I tell you what, I am so happy to be where I am today. I'm more in my own skin today than I have been in a couple of decades, and it feels fantastic.
Well, because of that, we congratulate you for being you, Miss
Yay!
Debra. Yes, congratulations for your podcast.
Thank you.
And of course, your life itself. So let's talk about understanding sales psychology and buying personalities. How do, or in your words, what is a sales psychology and why is it essential for everyone in the business today?
Sales psychology really it has two parts. We hear a lot about the first part, and that is the buying personality. It's important because if we can understand who our audience is, who we're selling to, whether that's in our advertising and our organic content and our messaging, or it's a one-to-one in a sales environment, if we understand how that person likes to be communicated to, then we can more easily deliver our message in a way that they're most likely to say yes to. So, for example, if I can determine that I am sitting across from someone that is very neat, their desk is neat, they're very organized, they were specific about the amount of time that they were going to give me and that I would be here on time. They likely, it's very common for them to be in some form of a financial position in a company. Oftentimes, you'll find someone that is a CPA or a financial advisor will have this type of a personality. And when you know you're sitting across from someone like that, an operations person, even, then you know that they want the bottom line, right? They've already evaluated it. They've already had it recommended by somebody else, and they want to get right to the point, and they want the bottom line. They want to get right to business. On the other hand of that, there are people, and it's a new category that's kind of come up in the last 5 years, and that is people that really want social proof, right? So we used to have this whole kind of a group of that we called thinkers, people that want a lot of information when you sell to them. They keep asking you for a lot of information. They want empirical data. They want testimonials. They want to really research and think about it and look at alternatives, all of the different things. Those were thinkers. And social media, the influencer generation really changed that a little bit. And I think fractioned off a category that falls into social proof. And these are people that make more of an emotional decision and they make it based on someone else's results. And often those results are viewed on a social media platform. So everybody thinks that this is good. Everybody's having success with this, say, marketing tactic or skincare product, whatever it is. And so I'm going to order it, often without doing a lot of research, right? It's emotional. If it works for them, then it's maybe going to work for me. I'm going to buy it. And that's kind of a new category, but you can see how if you can determine where your person that you're selling to or the group of people that you're selling to lie in kind of that buyer personality spectrum. Now you know what messages to use, you know how to communicate, you know not to be late for an appointment if it's a certain group. There's lots of things that play into that in how you communicate, because on a very basic level, sales is a transfer of enthusiasm. I'm enthusiastic about it. I love this product. I'm proud to represent it. I love what I do, and I transfer that to you so that you'll buy it. So the best way to get that emotional response has to do with who that person is that you're selling to or who that group of people is that you're selling to. So that's really the first part of that sales psychology equation. And you see a lot of that out there. There are people now that do it from even an online presence, which I think is fantastic. I'm much more on a coaching level and sales training, and then marketing strategy and messaging level. But I've been intrigued by it by 20 years, and so I really love it, and it can help you market better and communicate better in the sales environment.
Miss Deborah, how do you buying personalities influence the way people make decisions during the sales process?
Um, it is really a factor of, for example, if, and I have this personality trait, and that is I'm competitive. I'm very active. I don't like to mess around with a lot of nonsense, but I do like conversation. But I often want things quickly, and I'm also a thinker, so I want information, but I want it right now. I have an urgency about me. And if you know you're dealing with someone like that, and you can tell when somebody is urgent, they want to meet with you right now, and they have that personality, you don't want to spend a ton of time on giving them facts and figures and getting them bogged down in information, because they're looking to make a fast decision. That's the headlines, right?
Hmm.
Those are people that buy based on the headlines, as opposed to the person that wants all of that information, and you think that deal is dead because they've asked for information and they can't make a decision. You've moved on, and 3 months later they come back and they're ready to buy now, because that personality just needs time. And so you need patience in order to make that a successful sale. Put them on a drip campaign, stay in front of them, send them a monthly email, check up with them once a month. But beyond that, it feels like you can sell them because they're interested and they want more information, but you are not going to close that today and probably not this week. And identifying that lets you move on to new prospects and know that that's going to be a deal later. So it can really affect your whole process when you're out there.
What common misconceptions do people have about psychology of selling?
That really gets us to the second part of it. Everybody talks about buying personalities and selling and communicating better. But the part that they forget about is the part that has to do with you and your mindset and how you view what you're doing and how you communicate with them. So much of what we do is made up of our how we feel emotionally about it. And I've done a lot of research. I have a big research project that I'm working on right now on this, but we spend so much time as salespeople and entrepreneurs hustling and going on to the next deal and accommodating deals and then having obstacles, and all of that trouble in our own mindset really causes that. We really get stuck in a mindset of lack in sales. Some of that's also we're constantly comparing. You have lots of responsibilities as an entrepreneur. You worry about keeping your employees. You worry about, am I generating enough revenue? And sales psychology when you turn it inward towards yourself, now it's relax and understand that
Mhm.
your clients are for you. They've always been for you. What's meant for you is always for you, and you can't screw it up. But what you can do is clog up your pipeline with things that aren't meant for you and that take up your time and prevent you from getting your people. And I'll give you a good example. Every time I or a client of mine has, let's say, accommodated a price change, or they gave in to a client, they were trying to sell a client, they made demands, and rather than standing on their brand and saying, we are not going to do that, this is the way we do it always, we have our reasons for it, they accommodated. Usually it's because we think we need to, we need that sale, so we give in, right? Every time without fail, it's a problem because that's not your customer. If you're accommodating and changing who you are as a business, what your brand is, how you operate. Your brand is more than what it looks like. Your brand is more than the colors. It's more than your logo. It's more than your core values. It's your pricing strategy, how you negotiate with customers, your sales strategy, your customer service goals, how you fit into the marketplace. Are you the low cost provider? Or are you providing a higher level of service? All of those things fit into your brand. And when you stay true and authentic to that, and you don't force it and accommodate and change something about that, if you stay true to your brand, your customers will find you, the ones that are meant for you. But you have to relax and trust that it's really going to come and that you're on the right path. When you start concerning yourself and you start making accommodations, you're really coming from a mindset of lack and need. And what we focus on is what we get more of. And when you focus on this is lacking, you don't get more of what you're wishing for, you get more of lack, right? Because the ether and the universe or God or whatever you want to say it is, it doesn't judge whether your thoughts are productive or not productive, or if it's on your soul path or it's not. It just gives you what you're focusing on. So focusing on that lack and that need can make us make poor buying decisions or selling decisions, right?
Hmm.
It can
Yes.
make poor buying decisions as well, but it can make us get bogged down in a customer that's going to take more time than it should. It's going to make us make less money, maybe because we accommodated a price change in order to get them. It's going to take more personnel sometimes, and it's going to affect everybody's mindset that works for you because they know you caved in on price and you've affected the value proposition, not just for that client but for your sales team and your customers. So staying true, that is sales psychology. Owning it, knowing this is what we're doing, move on, step over that dime and pick up the dollars that are the customers that are really for you.
Pick up the dollars, people.
That's
Millions
right.
of
It's
dollars.
hard. I mean, it's hard not to. When you are an entrepreneur and you've started a business and you see opportunity, somebody comes to you and you can kind of do it, right? You maybe you do exactly what they want, but they want you to do it in a way that you're not prepared to, or for a price that you're not prepared to. It think long and hard before you give in, because that's not your customer. Your brand doesn't serve them. Somebody else's brand does. Especially those people that really want you to lower your price. And it's hard not to. It's a debate amongst entrepreneurs all the time. Should I have lowered it to get that business because we really need the business? And I've come to know, I know the answer to that question is no, don't do it. Stay true to your brand and authentic so that your customers will come, because that one is going to take too much time and it's just going to clog everything up.
Hmm. Definitely. And Ms. Debra, identifying buying personalities. What are the main types of buying personalities you've encountered? And how can salespeople recognize them quickly?
Well, we've talked about a couple of them. We've talked about the thinkers. That's a really big one and easy to identify. They're kind of the nerds. Let's face it, they're kind of nerdy.
Mhm.
And sometimes they'll hide it well. I'm very nerdy, but I also like to look cute. And so They kind of I'm a sneaky nerdy person because of that, but that's who they are, and it's fairly easy to identify them. The quick decision bottom line people, those bottom line people, it's easy to see them. They don't want to chit chat and fool around. They're all business. I've got things to get to. I've got another appointment in 10 minutes, and I can't meet with you after that. Or maybe you were 5 minutes late. Hey, I only gave you 20 minutes. You got 15 minutes. What do you got? That person that we've all met with. And we kind of touched a little bit on that competitive natured person, that they are really the headlines. They don't want to get bogged down in a bunch of thinking about it. Tell me the highlights, right? The bullet points. Those people really like to communicate in those types of things, not lots of details. And then finally, the social proof one we talked about really falls into this overall category we haven't talked about. And that is people that view the world on how it makes them feel emotionally. And we all know people that are like this. They buy based on worry. They buy based on, well, I better do this. I need to have the ice melt and all of this materials in case it snows this winter. Or, right, they're prepared. They feel a certain way about it and they need to make that feeling feel better. So they buy things based on emotional reasons. And a lot of times that is, it's not always worry. Sometimes that's the person that buys clothes because it makes them feel good. I think most of us buy, but there's a lot of people that buy them because it's utilitarian and it doesn't matter what color the socks are. As long as they cover my feet, I'm good to go. So the
Yes.
difference there, that emotional, somebody that's making that emotional decision, they have to really feel what you're feeling in order to buy it from you. But once they do, they are sold and they will buy it and they will give you testimonials. But if it doesn't live up to the hype, they're the first ones that are going to complain about it on social media also, because it affected them emotionally. They trusted you and it didn't work, and so now they're upset and they are going to be loud about that as well. So those are the main ones that you will see, and it's their value proposition and what gets them excited about it. What makes them excited about the product? And how can I communicate that in a way that makes it easy for them to understand? Kind of sounds like we're being manipulative, but we're really not. We it sounds like we are, and I guess in a way it could be, but honestly, who doesn't want someone that's trying to explain something to you and sell you something, or you're thinking about buying it and you're trying to get more information? We all want that information to arrive to us in our preferred method. Right? So all
Yes.
we're doing is really making it easier for them to understand. As long as we're not high pressure and convincing and selling people things that they don't need, then I think we're staying true to ourselves and not being super manipulative. We're really doing things in a way that makes it easier for both of us.
Miss Deborah, what are some of the biggest mistakes salespeople make when trying to read a customer?
I think for sure the number one is they listen to the customer when they talk to you about often the reasons why they might not buy. And we listen to respond because that's what salespeople are trained to do. They give you an objection and you are trained to overcome it. So if they say, I can't afford it, then you show them your payment plans. Or you show them how much money they're going to save in the long run. So it works out. All of those, we listen for those cues to respond. And what we should be doing is listening with curiosity to all of the things that they say and being curious about that person, because we're going to hear, if we're being curious, we're going to hear the objections. But if we pay attention, we'll hear a lot more things. And that will help us build a relationship with them. So you hear about their personal life, maybe when you're meeting with them. Lots of sales take time, especially business to business for a long term thing. I'm in advertising. I usually don't sell advertising the day I meet a potential client. They want to have information about it. And if it's a big campaign, we want time to think about it too. So I think it's important to pay attention to all of those things. And if you can do that and listen with curiosity and learn things, maybe you hear that one of their kids is going to get married. One of their employees is. Now you have a reason to follow up with them later because I have maybe a photographer or a florist to give them. And I'm calling them to help them and not ask about the sale. So I'm building a relationship too. So if you listen with curiosity, you find out things about the company that you can use. You might find out they need a new credit card processor and you have one. And if he saves money, that gives you more money for them to spend for what you're selling. All of that listening is definitely number one. Listening to your client, really listening and being curious.
Listen, and curious. Who knows? You will be the next Einstein. Looking ahead, Miss Deborah, how do you see the role of psychology evolving sales over the next 10 years?
Well, buying personalities has been a big buzzword. I've noticed a lot more people using it, a lot more sales coaching using it. So I think it's becoming a bit more savvy, and I think it'll be important in the AI technology world. Everything that is personal, that personal touch, that individual creative stories, human stories, things that an AI can't replicate. And that is the human experience and true creativity. When you're in sales and you're an entrepreneur, you're creating something. You're creating a relationship, you're creating um, products and services. You're creating a communication back and forth. Those types of things can't be duplicated from AI. They can create from nothing. AI can copy something that's already out there. They can do something that's programmed by a human, but they can't paint a painting with no reference point at all. They can copy a Picasso, but they can't just paint one from their own
Yes.
personality. So that, and I think sales is going to become even more important, especially on that interpersonal level because of the outbound selling with AI, all that customer relations field, frontline customer service, frontline sales, customer retention people, all of that is going to be replaced by AI. You can do it virtually with AI now almost. It's very close and they learn and are empathetic. So having one-on-one sales for big ticket items and for your business and being able to connect on an interpersonal level, I think is going to be critical to success for small businesses in the future.
Indeed. And Ms. Deborah, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please to listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in each fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101, Love Letters in third season, and Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in its fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its
Man,
first
bow down
season.
to the king, Daniel. I mean, I have one podcast. Look at you go. I mean,
Thank
what a
you.
pro. That is fantastic. Let's see. I've been on one and I'm about to I think I'm going to be on your food one.
Please, I'm
I
gonna
think I am.
invite
I
you.
filled out some stuff about a specific dish, so that's going to be fun.
That'd be awesome. Thank you, Miss Deborah. Please do listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So finally, Miss Deborah, what practical advice will you give listeners or viewers who want to immediately improve how they connect with different buying personalities?
The biggest thing really is to really get to know the person that you're selling to. If you're doing it on the masses, so you're planning marketing or advertising or content, think about that person as an individual and who is that specifically. Then you'll be able to start identifying different personalities that you want to focus on. It's hard. You can guess the main big points of someone's personality once you practice. And if you sit and think about the people in your life that you know, and you start to categorize them, I think that's the best tool is when you're talking to somebody, start looking. Oh, they read all these books. I bet they're a thinker. I bet they want a lot of information. And you'll start to identify who they are. And if you can relate someone that you're selling to someone you personally know, this person, the way they view the world reminds me of my Aunt Virginia. And because of that, I know that they are a social proof person and I need to send them some testimonials from people that have gotten good results. So pay attention, start thinking about it with the people you know the best because that you already know them. Start categorizing them, even if it's just in your own way. Use my categories or someone else's, or kind of come up with your own that follow those kind of personalities, and you will start identifying them. Once you start paying attention to it, man, you can't forget it.
Miss Deborah Bowers, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your podcast, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
I would love for your listeners to tune into my podcast, Deals with Heels, where female entrepreneurs thrive. It's available on all podcast listening platforms and on YouTube. We are in our 4th season and we have lots of great guests that talk about all kinds of entrepreneurial types of businesses and tools to help it grow. And you can find out more information about that also on the website, which is dealswithheels.com. I would love for you to check it out.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Deborah Bowers because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering episodes of the podcast itself. So, Miss Deborah, looking forward for our Food 101. Thank,
Yes.
yes, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
More to come, people. See you soon.